Armstrong is radically changing the way ceilings are constructed. Our integrated ceiling solutions allow the general contractor to submit highly competitive bids to win more jobs, realize tremendous savings in labor and overall costs for ceiling and soffit structures, and tackle the most challenging design with innovative solutions.
When we first looked at the plans, there was a lot of detail work, very intricate work, a lot of steps, a lot of different elevation. The way it was originally drawn on the prints, it was to be built out of studs, conventional framing. We knew that we had to come up with a different way because the building is a 100-year-old clay block building, and shooting track and studs to it just doesn't work out.
The ceiling contractor for JW Marriott in downtown Chicago was familiar with Armstrong Solutions. In fact, it's why they won the bid.
We talked with a rep from Armstrong, and they had this new short span system that they said we could span the rooms and eliminate 2 rows of main carriers, which would be 2 extra runs of ceiling hanger wire also. In our bid time, we figured on using the new Armstrong short span system to save time, and that was a big factor in how we got the job.
Once Airtight learned how Armstrong's integrated ceiling solutions tackled soffits, they changed their plans for constructing the ceilings in the grand foyer and ballrooms.
The way you could build a soffit, you would use less linear footage of steel material. A couple hundred square feet a day, it starts to add up when you have a building this size and you're doing hundreds of thousands of square feet. The less material you have to put in the air, the faster it goes and the cheaper it becomes for the company.
Suspending the soffits, rather than extending the framing up 2 stories to the deck, considerably reduced their time on the job, with no sacrifice on structural integrity and no sacrifice in aesthetics.
On the ceiling end of it, using the Armstrong grid over conventional framing, we would not have done as well if we would have had to go the old style way with just metal studs and track. In the last couple years, we've hardly built any soffits out of metal studs anymore. Just about everything we do is out of short span or drywall grid. It's here to stay, it's not going away. And if you want to be competitive, you're going to have to figure out how to use it.
While other manufacturers sell ceiling products, Armstrong offers integrated ceiling solutions. Perimeters, transitions, and drywall grid systems work together to provide market-driven solutions that are changing how ceilings are constructed. Solutions that are easy to install and improve efficiency over traditional construction methods. Armstrong's integrated ceiling solutions allow the contractor to build quickly and efficiently, keeping the project on time, on budget, and making sure it's finished right on the mark. One of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Millwrights' missions is to train its members on the latest building techniques so they can secure more work. And Armstrong's integrated ceiling solutions are an integral part of their training curriculum.
The old lathers didn't embrace drywall when it came into the marketplace. They said it'll never catch on. It's a passing fad. This was after World War II and the housing boom was going on, and they said no, they're going to get back to lath and plaster eventually. And you know what, the market never did. When the drywall grid came on in the marketplace, the same naysayers were there saying it's never going to catch on, it's no good, it's not going to work. But we see the impact it's made on the industry. It makes everything faster, easier, quicker to do. It's a game changer in our industry. And you have to be forward thinking and looking at what's going to change the way we do things all the time.
If you aren't specifying Armstrong, realize your competitors may be.
The contractors that have embraced it are very successful. Other contractors haven't embraced it because there's always that segment that this is the way we've always done it and this is the way we're going to do it. But that's changing, and it's changing quickly as other contractors get beat out of work because they can't compete. This is the future of our industry until the next big thing comes along. We have to be able to recognize those products and how they're going to change the industry, and then be ready to put that training in place.
Bell Helicopter's new headquarters in Fort Worth, Texas, presented a number of challenges for the designers and contractors.
As years go on and you get more experience, you start getting presented with newer challenges. So newer projects came up. How do we do this? How do we do that? How can we make this work with what's available? Right now, I want clean lines. I want something that is clean and slick. A lot of times I want to see a ceiling go through the glass and continue on the other side as much as possible. Conventional framing doesn't allow for that. Just the limitations and the tolerances that happen when you're working with drywall and such start to get waviness, you start getting inconsistencies. So when you're trying to do a nice clean project, there has to be a point where you jump up and say, you know what, this is just not acceptable. How can I change that? How can I get to something different? The piece that a lot of people don't realize is there's so much stuff and so much coordination that goes on above the ceiling line. HVAC systems, ductwork, I've got fire suppression systems. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. If I put together a traditional drywall system and a stud system and I add labor in that, it's quite high. Well, now I can take something that's lighter, smaller gauge, equally structurally sound, and now I'm only talking about whether it's a wire or a cable or a rod that I can work in and around things a lot more easily. That just makes my system a lot more adaptable for what I'm trying to do.
Utilizing Armstrong's integrated ceiling solutions means the contractor is able to build what the designer envisions.
It's making a constructible product from their actual design intent. So many times there are products shown on plans that look really neat and they look really interesting. They're not constructible. The product and the pieces now have the capability to move like the 3D objects that the architects are wanting to show. When before it was just a very chopped up, rudimentary style of trying to get there, but now you can get there. There are now things on plans that are actually constructible.
And interfacing with Armstrong to build quotes and keep jobs on schedule and on budget is simple.
I can get exactly what I need with very few easy steps and get extraordinarily accurate. I have definitely won projects by speccing Armstrong over an old school product. We were able to show them how we were able to construct it with these innovative parts and pieces, and it looked exactly the way they had it on the plans, whether it be a grand scape of a ceiling or just a very intricate type of shape. Not only are you getting a competitive material price, you're lowering your labor, so you are getting best of both worlds. It is definitely revolutionizing the way ceilings will be built.
Submit highly competitive bids to win more jobs. Realize tremendous savings in labor and material costs for ceiling and soffits. And tackle the most challenging design with innovative solutions. Log on to Armstrong.com and explore how our integrated ceiling solutions can benefit you. Armstrong, inspiring great spaces.